Hey everybody, it's John from Theme Park Social. So about a month ago, my wife and I attended an Orlando Informer event at Universal Studios. If you're not familiar with the Orlando Informer events at Universal Studios, I'll tell you a little bit about them. It's a private ticketed event, so you have to have an individual ticket through Orlando Informer, and the tickets typically cost around $240 to $250 after taxes. I know that seems a little bit high, but if you factor in that you get into Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure with one ticket, unlimited food and drinks, and next to no wait times, it's really not that bad of a price. I'll share my opinion on the cost and whether it's worth it at the end of the video. So the meetup times for these events change based on the day. So on Fridays, the events typically start a little bit earlier and they end a little bit earlier. And on Saturdays, they start a little bit later and they end a little bit later. Typically, early access is 5 p.m. on either day. It doesn't really matter. So I would recommend that you really look up the information before you buy a ticket to make sure it works for you. If you have a universal annual pass, it's not going to do you much good except get you free parking. So when you show up for the event, you're going to go to the special entry point between Universal Islands of Adventure and the Chocolate Emporium. There's usually somebody there with a sign, and there's an open gate, and then there's another bigger Orlando Informer sign. Once you go through that sign, you're going to go into the backstage area. You're going to keep walking and go into this big warehouse type building, and that's where you're going to get your ticket scanned and you're going to get a wristband. Then they're going to move you into another building, and that's kind of like a pre-staging area for the evening. Inside that building, there's free food. They have a hot dog bar, a nacho bar, and people walking around with other appetizers. There's also a place where you could get some mixed drinks. Those aren't free. You got to pay for those. And there's a whole slew of Coke products in bins. So it's pretty much unlimited, whatever you can grab. And they also have a live band playing inside of there. And there's a photo opportunity with a character. We decided to start at Universal Studios first, and we pretty much just walked around, hit every snack station, and rode every single ride. Every ride at Universal Studios was a walk-on. We never waited more than 5 minutes. We did have a pretty amazing interaction with one of the cast members on Men in Black. Her name was Beers, and she was absolutely hilarious. I wish I had gotten more video of her speaking, but I didn't. We posted a video of her on TikTok, and it got over 52,000 views and 5,500 likes. Uh, a lot of people commented that they already knew her and interacted with her before on the same ride. I know I flew through the Universal Studios portion on this, but don't sleep on the food. If you see free food, stop and grab it. A lot of the food was terrific, and it's free. Well, I guess it's not really free because you paid for a ticket, but you paid for it, so you might as well eat it. After we wrapped up Universal Studios, we got on the Hogwarts Express over to Islands of Adventure. Now, on a typical day, I've waited up to an hour for this. I honestly did not wait more than 5 minutes. The train pulled in, we got right on, we were at the front of the line, and we headed over to Islands of Adventure. Once we were at Islands of Adventure, that's when we encountered our first wait, and that was on Hagrid's. I think the wait was about 25 minutes, which isn't bad for Hagrid's considering most days it's somewhere between 45 and 80 minutes. And then we made our way over to VelociCoaster, and it was a walk-on. And just for a reference point, I consider anything 5 minutes or less a walk-on. So that's just my opinion. So if you've never ridden VelociCoaster at night, it was absolutely amazing. And then we just kept knocking out rides all night at Islands of Adventure. And if you're not familiar with how things work at Islands of Adventure, because it's so close to residential areas, the really loud roller coasters have to shut down, I think, by midnight or 1 o'clock. I think it depends on if it's a Friday or Saturday. So by this time, we're starting to have to rush a little bit to get a couple more roller coasters in before they have to shut down. And we probably should have done those a little early in the evening, but again, we wind up making it through everything with no issues. So I will say this event was pretty cool. It was a great date night for me and my wife, who both enjoy roller coasters and eating food. I can see this not being an excellent value, especially for someone with an annual pass to Universal, especially if you have a Universal Premier Pass, which includes Universal Express after 4 p.m. However, I think it's a fantastic value if you're coming from out of town and you don't have an annual pass. It's a way to knock out 2 parks in 6 to 7 hours and ride every single ride. We actually ended up talking to quite a few people that were out of town travelers, and they were staying at Universal, and some people attended the single night event and some people did the Friday and Saturday together. So that's my take on the Orlando Informer event at Universal Studios. I think it's a pretty cool event. If you like content like this, please like and follow. Also, we have an app. It's called Theme Park Social. It's available on the App Store and on Google Play. It's free. One of the features on the app is find a friend. And if you're going to the park and you don't want to go by yourself, you can jump on the app and try to find somebody. It's kind of set up like a dating app, kind of, so it's kind of easy to use, but it's really just there for people to meet up together and go ride roller coasters or go to a park and hang out or whatever you want to do. So check out the app, and I hope you guys have a great day.